1045 The Team, your home for New York Yankees baseball. Randy Miller of NJ.com with us right now. You were there yesterday. Now, first of all, not the most beautiful of days, but nothing can stop Derek Jeter from ascending to greatness. So what was it like in the stadium?
You know, it was interesting that there was no one there for Game 1. I mean, Game 1 looked like a late September game between two non-contenders. There were so few people in the stands. And then, after Tanaka blows up in Game 2, and they heckle him, it empties out. But the middle, the getting ready for the Jeter, and you hearing the Jeter chants, and then the ceremony, it was like World Series atmosphere. It was so bizarre, and that there's two games, and it's almost like no one gave a damn about these two games against two of the best teams in the American League. All they cared about was Jeter. Jeter shirts. Sitting in the press box, I looked down at one point, and I saw about 30 Yankee jerseys, and 29 of them were Jeter, and one was Posada.
It's a great feel there, but it almost felt like maybe for some fans the end of an era. I know Levack's a huge Jeter fan, and other Yankee fans. I told him when Derek Jeter gets basically honored, that's the end. Was it sad or was it a celebration?
Probably a little bit of both for Yankee fans. I'm not from the area. I did cover the Yankee postseason games from that era, almost all of the home games. Yeah, it was a celebration of that era, the glory days, the 5 championships, the 3 in a row, and Jeter was the captain. He was the biggest star, so he was the last to go. And this is the end. When you look at that team, there were 5 players now have their numbers retired from that team, plus Corey, and this is the end. That you wouldn't know it from you were there. That the chants again, they were just like it felt like it was 2001 World Series again. It was that loud, that crazy, and Jeter soaked up. And as always, he handles these things great. He's as classy as it gets. And you know, I was trying to think from that era. You know, he might be the best player. He wasn't the most talented. You look at Griffey and Bonds, but when you look at everything he brought, the total package, he may be number one.
Randy Miller with us right now from NJ.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Randy J. Miller. Randy, so you said it was almost like the air goes into the stadium for Jeter, comes back out after Jeter. Could that potentially be why they got off to such a slow start in the second game?
I don't think so. It was just Tanaka had nothing last night, and that has to be a concern. He has not been the same this year, other than that one great outing at Fenway Park. He was terrible on opening day. His second start wasn't great. He's winning games. He's 5-2 because the offense has been so good. But it was Tanaka. Tanaka had no splitter, no curve. Slider was terrible, and it was 6 runs in the first inning, and it was pretty much over. You give the credit to the Yankees for fighting back and making it close at the end. But this was kind of a statement series to see where they are, because I think Houston's the best team in the American League, and the Yankees were lucky to get 1 out of 4. They could have been swept in that series. Girardi said after the game they were in 3 of the games. Well, I don't know that you could say last night they were in the game. They definitely could have lost all 4 of the games in this series. And to me, that was a statement that they're not the elite team that we've been seeing. You know, you always hear the statement that you're never as good as you are when you're going great. You're never as bad as you are when you're going bad. And they're probably somewhere in the middle. They're better than we thought they're going to be this year, but I'm not sure that they're an elite team.
All right, you say elite team. I agree with you. Houston looks to be the best team in the American League, but in that pecking order in the American League, are we talking maybe 2 teams better than the Yankees right now, 3 teams?
Well, I think it's too early to tell. Baseball is a long, long, long season, and I just looked and see Toronto all of a sudden is getting hot, and people had them dead and buried, and if they get healthy, they're dangerous. They might have the best team in the division there in last place. Baltimore has been good, and I still think Boston is they're a sleeping giant. If Price comes back healthy, they have the most talent in the division. So there could be a few teams, and Cleveland's very good too. So when I look at the AL, I think the Yankees may be 5th, 6th best team in the AL.
Not terribly bad. I mean, I can almost live with that, considering what we were told to expect going into the year. Randy Miller with us, NJ.com, covers the Yankees. So when you put the Yankees there, how much can they benefit from the return of potentially Greg Bird and Aroldis Chapman, or do you think they will return this year?
I think they both will return. Chapman is out for a month with his rotator cuff inflammation, at least a month. And you never know when those injuries pop up. Sometimes they do. Often those injuries do lead to surgery. And the bullpen is much, much weaker with Betances closing. And I love Betances, but he's a better setup man. And he's having issues with walks. Nobody's hitting him other than last night. He gave up a couple hits, but he's having some issues with walks. I like him as the eighth guy. I love Clifford as the seventh guy. And now you're moving everybody up into different positions. So for this next month, it's going to be interesting. Greg Bird, I don't know what to expect from Greg Bird. He was incredible in spring training. When you looked at him in spring training, I thought this guy's going to have a 30-home run season. And it was so bad in April, and then you wonder how much of it was that ankle. Was it a lot? Was it some? He can still salvage the season, but that has to be a concern there too, as is Tanaka. And I'm not sure we're going to see – I like Sanchez, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure we're ever going to see Sanchez be what he was last August. I mean, that was just too much to ask for. The August, September, 20 homers in 53 games. When you look at his minor league stats, there's nothing that ever jumps out like that. The guy had 10 homers in like 100 games in AAA last year. Very good power, very good defensive catcher, very good young prospect, one of the best young catchers in the game. But I don't know if he's going to be a superstar at this age like people were hoping.
We've got
so
Randy.
Those are questions.
Oh, sorry. Randy, when you look at Aaron Judge, he's already getting compared to Derek Jeter, which is a lot to put on a young guy. Do you see any of that? Do you see any of the similarities to like, he gets up in the bottom of the ninth last night, and I'm thinking to myself, we might have a tie game. He does come through with a hit, but not a home run.
He almost looks like Jeter a little bit, except he's 6'7" and 250. The facial features a little bit. Their personalities are a little bit the same, although Judge is much, much more media-friendly. Not that Jeter wasn't. And Judge also is kind of guarded in saying too much, but, geez, every day the guy's saying hello and thanking you for talking to him, even when you're talking to him every day. The guys he knows well. I can see this guy potentially being a captain someday. He's just so likable. Every veteran player, you hear how respectful he is for a young player. Those are the same things you heard about Derek Jeter. And as far as what you mentioned, yeah, he has been clutch. This wasn't the first time he came up with a clutch hit in the ninth inning on Sunday night. That could have possibly been a huge hit and an incredible comeback win. But he's done that. He had a game-tying homer the other night. I guess in Game 1, I think he had the game put the Yankees ahead with a homer after Castro tied it when they had been when they fell behind with Severino having a terrible start. So yeah, there's some things. Obviously, they're different players. There's a shortstop and a power-hitting right fielder. But there's some characteristics they both have as far as leadership, respect for the game, respect for other people of all walks of life. Very, very impressive young man.
I love it. Randy Miller, NJ.com. He's the man who covers the Yankees. He's can we call you the road warrior? Like I think, what'd you say earlier? You've seen your house for like 6 minutes?
Yeah, I got home at 3 a.m. and then it was off to the airport to go to Kansas City.
All right. Well, I hope safe travels, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Okay, anytime, guys. Take care.